Well, I have several questions. None of them really within the walls of rhyme or reason, just... Ugh. I endured this movie for you guys. Just remember that. Hey guys, what's up? It's the friendly film fan, Jacob Jones. Another review. This is the last terrible X-Men movie, I hope. Crossing fingers. Because I haven't seen Apocalypse yet, but Rotten Tomatoes isn't giving it a whole lot of grace. Anyhow, this is X-Men Origins Wolverine. I don't even want to talk about this movie. I don't know why I'm doing this. Why did I do this to myself? Nevertheless, I am going to talk about this movie, and I'm going to talk about it completely spoiler-filled, so that is a spoiler warning for any of you who haven't seen this movie. Please continue living your life the way it is. Don't watch this movie. But I'm just saying, if you were going to see it, ever, please don't. Then this is a spoiler warning, so you probably shouldn't be watching this review, but if you don't care about spoilers, cool. Please don't watch this movie. I don't know what that was, but it wasn't Wolverine's origins. It was like part of Wolverine's origin, and then none of it. And then part of it, and then none of it again. I really don't know what happened, guys. After the sort of critical, harsh reception of X-Men The Last Stand, the X-Men franchise needed to get back on track. They needed to win back the public's trust and become a great franchise again. So they went with their one sure thing, which was Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. So they went to make a Wolverine Origins movie, and everybody was so excited. There was so much hype built up around this movie. It was a Wolverine origin story, something we hadn't yet seen before, and we were finally going to get to know what was so important about Stryker, where did he come from, how did he get his metal claws, and how did his powers first manifest. And we were going to get to see all of this played out on screen. We were going to get to see Wolverine, and Sabretooth was going to be in it, and Gambit was going to be in it, and it was going to be fantastic. And Deadpool was in this movie. Fans had been practically, well, not clamoring, but fans were so excited they were going to get to see Deadpool on the big screen. It's a PG-13 rendition because it was a Wolverine movie, not a Deadpool movie. But still, they knew that they would get the Deadpool that they wanted, right? Right? No, they didn't. They didn't get the Deadpool that they wanted because they sewed his mouth shut during the climax of the movie. They sewed Deadpool's mouth shut, guys. Oh, man. Now, like I said, I'm not a comic book reader, really. I own like maybe 6 comic books. I don't read a whole lot of comics, so the only thing I had to go on were the films. Now, when I first saw this film, I was like, okay, that was pretty good. That wasn't too bad. We'll see what happens in the next X-Men movie. And then right before watching this movie, tonight, or today, or whenever this review is going up, I read up on the source material, and I read and I studied it. There are like 4 moments in this movie that actually depict the origins of Wolverine. None of the rest of it works or makes any sense. So let's start at the beginning. The beginning part is kind of like the origins of Wolverine. There's this guy that comes to the house. James has always had like a problem with like allergies and stuff, and Victor's there. And here's the thing, though, about that scene. The child actors in it are terrible. They're not good actors. even if you're going to make me believe that these two people could be these characters for 5 minutes, you have to get great actors to do that. And these kids, they're not good actors. They're not. And it was painful to watch from the start of the movie, and that's not a good note to start off on. Basically, James finds out that his father's not actually his father. This other guy was, that he had stabbed because this other guy shot his dad, and it's really convoluted and complicated, and it's explained a lot better in like a Wikipedia article that explains Wolverine's actual origin story. So go read that. Wolverine's powers manifest for the first time, not like necessarily his healing factor, I don't think, until later. We never really get to see why that happens or where that manifests. But we get to see his claws come out, and they're bone claws, which, honestly, it's not a huge negative to this movie. There's a lot of negatives. That's not necessarily one of them, but it is kind of annoying not to see him with metal claws. But he's a kid, so bone claws make sense, I guess. He runs off, and then the opening credits montage through like 150 years of wartime that Logan and his brother Victor, who also is known as Sabretooth, they go through all these wars, and they fight in all of these wars, including the U.S. Civil War, despite being Canadian citizens, and it just kind of glosses over that. Boom. No war history for, like, Wolverine and Sabretooth, no character development in there. There's, like, nothing. It just kind of, opening credits, sets it aside. I'm actually getting frustrated talking about this. This is how bad this movie is. We go forward to this time where they're searching for this metal, this adamantium, that is going to become Wolverine's claws and skeletal armor. Colonel William Stryker, at the time, this generic colonel that, you know, he's like, I can put you on a special team with special privileges. Logan and Victor are, like, sentenced to death by firing squad. They don't die because they both have the healing factor, apparently, which is weird because Sabretooth doesn't heal. Not in the first X-Men movie. They established that he does not heal. He didn't even come back for the second one. I don't know if he was going to come back for the third one or not before Brett Ratner took it over, but he doesn't heal. So how in the world does Sabretooth survive a firing squad? Doesn't make sense. None of this movie makes sense. The one solid good thing that this movie has going for it is Hugh Jackman once again as Logan/Wolverine. He manages to find a good performance in a terrible film. Like a really bad movie. Now, this movie isn't like, I don't hate it as much as Transformers 2. It's not Battlefield Earth or something like Hot Pursuit or something like that. It's not blatantly stupid, but it is blatantly oblivious to everything in its source material. Oh, Gambit does show up in the movie, by the way. He's in there for all of 5 minutes and does, like, one thing. I honestly don't know if I can go through this whole movie just narratively, like, scene to scene, like I have with the first 2 or 3 X-Men films. I don't know if I can talk about it that long. Let's just try. Let's try to do that. They're invading this this building or whatever, and Sabretooth runs like he's a dog, I guess. I mean, okay, just because your name is Sabretooth doesn't mean that you run like a panther or anything like that. Even Black Panther does not run like a panther. Runs like a person, because he's a person. Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool is fine. He works well for the time that they give him to be Wade Wilson. Who is this Agent Zero guy? Who is this guy? I've never heard of him. There's like no myth about him in the original X-Men movies. There's no mythos. And what does he do? His whole takedown scene with the guards at the front of the gate is so ridiculous and completely just stupid. It is a stupid takedown. He puts it, they're like, put your hands on your head. They don't even, like, bother to check, like, they don't even bother to say, put your hands on your head and turn around, because he's going to have weapons behind him. Right? They didn't all just come up to this gate to invade this building and not bring any weapons. He does this, and surely they have to know that if his arms are going like that, he's not putting them on his head. He's putting them behind his back. And he grabs these, and he rapid fires the pistols, and then he goes up and he backflips, but he backflips forward over the gate. Like, slaughters all these guys, and then just... I honestly don't know if I can talk about this movie narratively, scene to scene. It's getting harder and harder as I go. Let's get on to Wolverine's actual, like, creation, because I just don't want to talk about anything leading up to that. Like the fact that he got his name from a fairy tale. He got his name from, like, some sort of myth or something. Why? There's no reason that that has to happen. The adamantium bullet erased his memory instead of the procedure that turned him into an adamantium machine, because that's what's supposed to erase his memory. But no, we have to have the adamantium bullets in here. And let's talk about that procedure scene, just very quickly, okay? I won't take too much more of your time because I'm getting angrier as I go throughout this review. They're like, okay, anesthesia won't work on Wolverine. We had to volunteer. So, goes into this pool, and it's not even in the same place. It's not even at Alkali Lake. It's not even in the same place as X-Men 2, where the base was supposed to be, supposedly underground where all that adamantium was. Logan started having the flashbacks in X-Men 2, right? Apparently that's not how that happened. At all. So he goes into the procedure. They put him under the water, and the procedure part of it is actually not too bad of a part, but it's the smallest little thing in this movie, the tiniest little thing that may not have a whole lot wrong with it. That's bad. When you have a movie with every scene, almost every scene like that, you have one consistent good thing. One. That's a bad movie. They put the adamantium on his skeleton. It just kind of rapid cools like that, for whatever reason. And he gets out. And for some reason, Colonel Stryker decides to discuss in earshot of Logan that he plans to erase his memory. His memory should have been erased during the procedure in the first place, but, you know, that aside, why would you discuss your plan to erase the guy's memory right next to him? He can't hear you. Because, like, his heart was beating, so he was alive, obviously. So Wolverine breaks out of this little tank, this water tank. It's not like a tank. And, like, cuts all the wire off, and it's a good thing that they remember that he was naked when he did the procedure, because he was naked in the in X-Men 2 when he, like, busted out of the door. Yeah. They got that right. It doesn't make sense. So anyway, Agent Zero immediately tries to kill Wolverine with regular bullets, after having put on him an adamantium skeleton. Virtually indestructible, right? Why? Why? And then they try to kill him with regular bullets. They try to kill him with regular weapons, like guns and helicopter fire and that sort of thing. My favorite part of this movie, probably, maybe, is when Agent Zero is taunting Wolverine and he cuts the helicopter wire and forces the helicopter to blow up. Not because it's a cool shot, because, like, it's only there for the sake of being a cool shot. It's not there for the sake of anything else. There's literally no reason for that to happen. It's because Agent Zero dies in that little helicopter explosion, and we never have to see him again. Wolverine has to go to Ma and Pa Kent's farm to, so we can figure out where he got his jacket from. That's literally the only reason he's there. That's it. The blatant disregard for the source material in this filmmaking is painfully obvious. It's painfully obvious. Like, they tried to put a couple cool things in there so fans wouldn't get angry, but then they ignore the entire rest of the origins. They ignore everything else. Why did I watch this movie again? Guys, there is no positive spin to put on this movie other than the fact that Hugh Jackman is still a great Wolverine despite being in a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad movie where he has CGI claws that don't even look like they're actually coming out of his hands. It's funny because at my college we actually have claws from X-Men Origins Wolverine. Even those look better in that display case than the ones in this movie do coming out of Wolverine's hand. I sat through this movie in a painful disregard for my own emotional health so that I could bring you this review. I just want to tell you, I love you guys, but only in the rarest and most extreme of circumstances will I ever do this again. I'm going to give X-Men Origins Wolverine a 3.8 out of 10. That's right, I gave it a lower score than Batman v Superman. That says something about this movie. Don't watch it, ever. I'm the Friendly Film Fan, guys, and I will see you next time.